engage Ben, and with that, please take it away.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Ben Kerns. I'm with Trellis. This is our first year in the TAPS program, so we're happy to be here. Our company is going on our 5th year, so we're based out of Georgia, just north of Atlanta, Peachtree Corners. And we've done a lot of research starting with the University of Georgia, but now with numerous universities across the United States. And the one thing that we're finding that's consistent is that soil moisture sensors are useful in helping us understand what's happening in the crop's root zone. Rather than using a scheduling method or turning on when your neighbor does or turning on based off of any other reason, to have timely and efficient irrigation, soil moisture sensors have been proven to be a good thing. For our system, we have an on-farm sensor network. So you have the probe here that's in the ground, and to the right of that box is a tipping bucket rain gauge through Davis Instruments. So that's one of our partners. That's just collecting on-site rainfall. In the telemetry box here is a 900 megahertz radio, so it's communicating through antenna to a central base station. But ultimately, we have I know AI is quite the buzzword in ag, but we're using soil moisture sensors, soil texture, crop type, and our weather data to make a prediction on when we're going to reach the trigger point. So we are giving an irrigation recommendation as far as when we're going to reach that trigger point, and that is customizable. So the sensor station itself, the unit comes fully pre-assembled. That antenna is a flexible fiberglass, so if the spray boom or the pivot itself comes by and hits that, it's not going to break the unit. It just bends and pops right back up. So the 2 probe options that we have are the Watermark, that's made from Barometer and Centec. I'll go into that a little bit in a few slides, but the picture to the right there is the central base station. This one happens to have the weather station through Davis on it, and that is the picture to the left is kind of showing the range that you'll get with one base station. So we're up to 2 miles. It's generally what we say is we're comfortable saying 1.5 miles, but we've seen it go past 2 miles from the central base station. So you can see that that's covering quite a bit of ground with one base station there. The Davis weather station add-ons, we have wind speed, direction, rain amount, rate, temperature, humidity, solar radiation. All this is available as an add-on to the base station. And of course, it's integrated with our platform as well. For the Watermark sensor, we're able to fit up to 5 sensors on a probe. So to be clear, we do not manufacture the sensors themselves. We take sensors from companies that are tried and true and proven in making sensors, so we're not reinventing the wheel there. For Watermark, we're taking the individual sensor and we add PVC pipe, the heat shrink, and there's a support bar running all the way down the length of the probe for easy installation and removal. Soil temperature is also taken at 2 inches, and that's sort of for calibration purposes. We also use of course, the Centec drill and drop probe, and that's measuring soil moisture, soil temperature, and EC every 4 inches. Those are the various models that we will carry for Centec from 1 foot down to 48 inches. This is an overview of our graph. So like a lot of these systems that you've seen in the software, you got 3 zones. Yellow is dry, green is good, blue is wet, right? The yellow is representing the crop's permanent wilt point. Green is good, sufficient, where you want to be. Blue is approaching the water holding capacity. So if you're in the yellow and you're not irrigating, probably should have been. If you're in the blue and you are irrigating, it's probably a waste of input. At the bottom, these lines here, when you hover over those, it's showing you your rainfall and irrigation, so you can see how these sensors are responding to those events. readings. So the watermark is a tensiometer, so it's measuring, if you picture, drinking out of a straw, it's how hard you have to suck to get the water, out of the glass. So it's measuring tension. So a lot of times we see these up and down movements with our watermark, and what that is, the plant sweats at night, and so you see kind of this daily increase in soil moisture. For the Centec readings look slightly different. A lot of times we see kind of a stair stepping that was talked about earlier, where during the high BT times, during midday, you kind of get a sharp decrease, then it will level off at night. So some subtle differences there, but really, ultimately, we're trying to figure out one question, which is when do I water? Wetting front is something where soil moisture sensors kind of prove their value, is knowing, we get a rain here on October 14th, the 2-inch mark jumps up right away, and you can see it takes about a day for that water to penetrate to the 14-inch mark up here. Electric conductivity is very dynamic in the short term, we're seeing, and we're learning more and more about this every day, but with the long-term trend data, you can kind of see how your fertilizer is moving and your salts are moving through the soil profile. Typically, we're seeing kind of this inverse relationship with soil moisture and salinity. So as your moisture is decreasing, your salinity is jumping up. That's not always the case, but that's kind of the general thing that we see. Sensor management plans. This has been popular for us. What this is let's say that we have a probe that's 36 inches deep, and right after planting, we may not really care what's going on 36 inches below the surface if our roots aren't there. Or if, so what you can do is set a management plan and say that 0 days after planting, these are my moisture thresholds of what we consider wet and what we consider dry. And these are our sensor depth weights. So maybe for the first 30 days, I'm not factoring these in at all on that weighted average that we see at the beginning. Then stage 2, maybe it's 30 days after planting, and now I start to factor that in. And then maybe 90 days after planting, everything's factored in to our irrigation decision. So I think our software is intuitive. We're able to group sensors to make field-based irrigation decisions. We'll send you text and email notifications that alert you when your fields are dry. I think one way we differentiate is in our pricing, so you only pay for it when you use it. We don't lock you into a 12-month subscription. We send weekly reports that might show you the percentage of time that you're in the wet zone, the okay zone, the dry zone, so just to give you a summarization of what is going on your account. All this data is archived, so cost share is kind of a big thing. Soil moisture sensors are applicable for EQIP, CSP, and other cost share programs. I know some of the specific NRDs here in Nebraska have cost share programs for sensors. All the data is archived, so if you need to turn in that data, it's there. Also, archiving is useful in the fact that if you have a group of sensors in one field 1 year, and then year 2, you put them in a different field, there's no confusion there. It's like starting fresh in year 2. This is our footprint right now. Obviously, our presence is mostly in the southeast at this point. Last year at this time, we were in 4 states. So we've grown quite a bit in the last year, and hopefully that continues. You can see the state of Nebraska. We currently have 0 probes in the state. So this is kind of this is my first customer-facing experience here. We wanted to make sure as a company that we were ready to go into the state, and we felt like we had our stuff together before we got here. So just a couple quick kind of an overview of any differentiators we have. One, I think our user interface is simple, easy to use. What you see on our mobile dashboard is the same that you see on our website. The hardware is lightweight, it's low power. This sensor is running off of 2 AA lithium batteries. That's going to last you 2 years. So it's sleeping basically every 2 hours. It's turning on, kicking data over to the central base station, and you turn it back off. That's how it's able to last 2 years off of 2 AA lithium batteries. Sensor agnostic, which I view as a strength. It gives us flexibility to help producers do what's right for them, their budget. The central base station, I think, is a strength. The fact that we can cover so much ground, so as quantity is increasing, our relative price point becomes a lot better. Our costs, these are approximations. They depend on probe depth and other factors, but generally, Watermark is around 600. Our Centec is around 1,500, and you can get started for one year to purchase. It would be around 1,150. So your year 2 cost would be only software, which is $25 a month per unit. In cases where we want to alleviate that upfront cost, we also offer a managed service through our local distributors, and they will, offer, it's around 100 per month per Watermark, around 200 per month for Centec, and that's including everything: installation, removal, support, and software access. And again, these contracts, we do not lock you in for a full year. It can be 6 months if you want it to be, and you have the option to renew for year 2. Kind of the last announcement here, we're doing some work with this patch program with Serious Imaging. So they have their own reasons for wanting to see probe data, and we have, kind of from our perspective, we want to be able to monitor correlation from our probes to what the images are telling us. We want to be able to see if we can find some insights on initial probe placement through imagery and aid in any abnormality detection as well. And if you want to jot down a demo account, our mobile app is the Trellis dashboard, and that's the credentials to log in there.
Your support, is it, in other words, if I've got a question about the readings, do you have an agronomist or somebody that helps out on that under the purchase side? Or is that?
Yes, we do. So we do work with the independent agronomists, pivot dealers, people like that. Wilbur Ellis is one of our, bigger accounts that would be present in this area. There's a few others too that are kind of waiting for us to, in a sense, they're ready for us. It's just a matter of us getting probes in the ground in the state.
I see you had a chat window to the side there. How responsive is the chat? And who do you chat with?
That's chatting with our company directly. So we're on that.
So is that agronomic chatting or just purely on the equipment and support side?
Purely on the equipment and support side. We generally go to our local agronomists for the agronomy questions if we don't know. So, good question.
So who would set your full and regional points?
Yeah, the full refill points are set based off, there's a standard that's off the soil texture and crop type, but then our local agronomists a lot of times will have their own adjustments to that, so you can adjust it in the app as well, or if the producer wanted to, they can do it.
Darren will do it.
Absolutely. Well, with that, let's thank Jen.
Thank you.
Both with Ben and all presenters, feel free to catch them at any time.